everybody, and we are live. How are y'all doing? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing Friday evening. Man, Casey, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm good, even though it's raining outside. It's a little chilly.
Yeah,
It's Friday, so I can't complain. Basketball's coming on tonight. I'm gonna relax with my little Italian ice. So life is good. Life is good. I'm gonna kick my feet up and relax.
I love it. I love it, man. Y'all, it's funny because Casey and I were talking earlier this week. I think it was Wednesday, and another friend of ours, a mentor of ours, and it was three of us talking, and it's been cold in Florida for the last it's getting a little warmer, but it hit the 30s. So we were freaking out, and then we're like, shoot, we're talking to Casey. He lives in Chicago. He's gonna think we're crazy. But for all of you that are joining us here live, Jens, how you doing? I hope you are all having an amazing evening. And we wanted to hop on here live to talk about something, like, as we've been talking to pre-PTs now, I don't know how many hundreds or whatever pre-PTs we've talked to in the last year or two or three, but as we talk to a lot of you, there's certain things that we always learn, right? And then there's other things that are repeated. And one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is something that we all, what's up, F. Scott? How you doing, brother? It's something that a lot of pre-PTs, like it's a choice. It's two directions that you can go as a pre-PT. So what's up, Kaylee? How you doing? So as pre-PTs, one of the biggest things is this. Actually, before I even dive in, my name is Joseph Googie, and this is...
What's up, y'all? It's Casey.
It's Casey. I just do that because some of y'all might be seeing us for the first time. We're the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. Our job is to help y'all get into PT school. All right, done. All right, so for tonight, biggest thing is this. How many of you as pre-PTs, what's up, Michael? What's up, Trey? How are you doing? How many of you pre-PTs, how many of y'all are currently preparing to apply or have already applied? Like, if that is you, can you please comment me? Can you please comment me? Because what we're going to address tonight is this. Like, as pre-PTs, there's a very clear difference between applicants. There are two types of pre-PTs in the world, like in the States and Canada. You just determine it. And the biggest difference between them is the one thing we're going to share tonight. And your job tonight is, after you listen, is to decide, do I want to choose to start looking at things like this, or continue looking at things like this? And it's literally the difference. Casey, tell them, it's literally the difference between getting into PT school or not. It has, y'all, I think a lot of times we weigh, Jen says me. So we put so much weight on a talented pre-PT. And by talented, I mean good GPA, good GRE, all that stuff. We put a lot of weight on it. The honest truth is this. Let's be real. Casey and I talk a lot about how you don't need you can still get into PT school even if you've started with a low GPA. I mean, y'all hear that, but can we be real for a second? If we can be real, can y'all just tell me we can be real? Okay, so if we can be real for a second, the biggest thing that happens is it's easy to hear that. It's easy to be yeah, they said I can still get in even though I have a low GPA. But what happens is this. What happens is, when you're not watching a live stream, when you're not talking to someone that believes in that with you, we're humans. So our negative thoughts start to come back. That's when we start to doubt ourselves. That's when we start to think, oh my goodness, well, I mean, they said that, but what if that doesn't apply to me? They said that, but what if when I apply this cycle, it just doesn't work out the way it's supposed to work out? How many of you have ever felt that? How many of you have ever, after hearing someone say, you can still do it, you can still get in, have then gone back and maybe a day or two later, you're like, what? Dang, I mean, they said it, but what if that doesn't quite apply to me? It might not apply to me because I have kids. And so maybe what I need to do is gonna it just won't match up because I have children. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Allison? How you doing? Maybe it's the fact that I'm just not great with classes. So they might have me retake classes and I'm just not good at it. So I just can't do it. Maybe it's the fact that I'm not good at standardized exams. So now, it doesn't matter. Everyone else must be better than I am. So all of a sudden it just kind of puts me in in a tough situation. Tonight, what we want to do is we want to talk about like who you are becoming as a pre-PT. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's not something that you have to like go out and learn something complicated. No. It's a choice we're all going to make here tonight. Because one thing that Casey and I currently understand is this: like as your pre-PT coaches, like we have had to embrace who we were becoming. Like y'all, like Case, I think it was Wednesday after we got on our call, right? I had a friend of mine come over to the house, and I do some coaching for him. He's like like business coaching for him. And as we were there, he was talking about, man, like I'm scared about doing a live stream and all that stuff. I pulled up my very first live stream ever. Like my voice sounded like it was shaking. I honestly was all over the place. Y'all think I'm all over the place now because I'm super high energy? My goodness. Like I kind of knew what I was trying to say, but I was so scared that I'd forget halfway through. But then I showed him a video that I had done about a week ago. And he was like, oh my goodness, it's a night and day difference. And he was like, how'd you do it? I was like, well, I just kept showing up. Like Casey and I just kept doing videos over and over and over. But one thing we embraced from the beginning was who we were becoming. We embraced from the very beginning, who are we becoming? We knew, Casey and I knew, that in order to serve a lot of pre-PTs, we'd have to learn this stuff. So as pre-PTs, you have to ask yourself, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? And that's what we're going to break down tonight, because the danger is in thinking that the person you are right now, defined by whatever your grades are right now, defined by how scared and terrified you are right now, like how uncertain you are right now, like that's not like, I mean, you can accept that as just kind of, well, this is just me, this is my situation. Or you can ask yourself, who am I actually trying to become as a pre-PT? If I'm going to be a perfect applicant, if I'm going to be a great applicant for the programs I'm applying to, like, who do I have to become? Because all of us, Casey, all of us have experiences that could easily take away our dream. Casey has his, getting rejected from PT school. So Casey, I have a question for you, man. Like tonight, because there are two types of pre-PTs. There's one that is extremely confident. There's one that is extremely certain, and there's another one that's really uncertain, not confident, fearful. Like two pre-PTs, not determined by our skills, not determined by how good we are at classes, not determined by how good we are at standardized exams, but determined by a decision about who we're becoming, man. How can we start like processing that? Tell us a little bit more about that process, man.
Yeah, so I think you need to become the applicant that you would accept, right? So let's think about it. You need to become the applicant that you yourself would accept. So as you're listening to this live replay, podcast, YouTube, Instagram, pause it, take some time, write it down, like, and really think about it. Okay, let's take the GPA out, because you guys aren't your GPA, right? You say that all the time. So take that out, take out the stats, take out the GRE. Aside from that, what kind of applicant, what kind of person, if you had your own DPT program, would you accept? Go ahead and pause the video, write it down, write out those attributes, right? Then when you look at that, ask yourself and be real with yourself. Are you that applicant? Or can you do something to become that applicant, right? Because a lot of times, whether it's interview prep coaching or editing essays or just talking with pre-PTs and asking them like, why does this interest you, right? Why does PT interest you? I kind of sometimes get a sense of struggle that they're trying to pull from something that's not there. They're trying to, and they kind of recite the things they've heard from other people, right? And it feels kind of empty. And that's because you're not that applicant that you would accept. You haven't become that person. I shouldn't even say applicant yet. You haven't become that person in order to become that applicant yet, right? So it's nothing there to pull from. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. It sounds good. Okay, this passage in the essay sounds good. That answer in the interview prep, in the mock interview, it sounds good. but there's something missing. That it factor is not there. You haven't become that person yet. You're still kind of faking it. So what I want to give, or what I want to do for you guys on here, is to give you 4 to 5 little tips on how to become that applicant. Because sometimes, like, Casey, Joseph, that's going over my head. It sounds good. I want to become that applicant, but how do I do it? Okay, these are just a few tips. It's not a training, it's not teaching, it's just stuff for you to think about, right? Okay, so how to become, or try, or the steps to become the applicant. So write it down, pause it, get a piece of paper, get your phone ready, right? So number 1 is know the profession, know physical therapy outside of like just your clinic, or outside of like one person's perspective. Like, get to know physical therapy on a DPT level, right? So, learn from someone here, follow someone over there, get their perspective from a person in home health, and a person in outpatient, and a person who owns their own practice. All these perspectives, gain a vast big picture of what physical therapy is. Learn about the APTA, learn about all the exciting stuff, learn about the sports teams, then learn about legal stuff and politics and stuff that you're not interested in. Get a fully well-rounded picture of physical therapy, so that when you go and talk to these schools, you can talk on any level, for any setting, any conversation. And I'd be like, wow, okay, they know what they're talking about. So that's number 1, get to know physical therapy on a broader level, right? Number two is start and try to develop your why. This is not going to be easy. You're going to suck at it. It's going to be a bad little description. You're going to say, I want to help people. That's fine. Ball it up, throw it away. Really dig deep and say, like, what really interests me? Is it my story, someone else's story? And try to create a dramatic movie that you'd be interested in. If you read this back to yourself and you start to fall asleep and yawn, that's not good enough yet. Try again. Okay. Number 3, get help, and don't be afraid to get help. Don't think you're too good to get help. Don't think it's above you to get help. Just because you have a 3.7 GPA, don't think getting help is not for you. Just because you have a 3.1 GPA and you don't want anybody else to know, don't think you don't need to get help. So get help, seek help, and that'll make your life a lot easier. And you can become that applicant that you want to become a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot more stress-free, instead of saying, oh shoot, what's that person over there doing? I need to become like that. That's not who you're becoming. You're becoming like them, and you're not going to stand out. We can go down that rabbit hole. So that's number 3. Number 4 is start early. Because if you start early, you have more time to become the applicant you'd accept. If you start 2 days before you're supposed to, it's going to be more difficult. And lastly, come from a place of giving. Maybe right now you don't have a lot to offer. You probably heard us talk about have something to give the schools, and you're like, I don't know. Just come from a place of giving. Maybe think of some ideas. Maybe you can't do it yet, but come from a genuine place of what can I do for others? And that right there will give you enough to think about on how do I become a better person to become a better applicant, so that I can stand out and be remembered and be recognized to get accepted. So again, I'm gonna run through these 5. It's not the easiest stuff. It's not a GPA trick. It's not a GRE hack, but this is stuff to get you thinking, to make you stand out, or to build the foundations to help you stand out and become that applicant. So number 1, get to know the profession outside of just your small little circle. Number 2 is develop a story to your why. Number 3 is don't be afraid to get help. Number 4 is start early. And number 5 is come from a place of giving, or start to think in a manner of what can I give to others. So it'll be tedious. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little more difficult than you're used to. It's not the little tips and tricks. There's no backdoor little thing for this. Just work on it, and you'll become a lot better as a person, and ultimately an applicant. So that's my little tips. Work on it. Let us know how it goes.
I love it. 100%. Jimmy actually says, what's up, dream team? What's up, Jimmy? How you doing, brother? Some of the best advice I've gotten from you guys is to remember that PT schools are governed by people. Make connections with these people, sell yourself, create relationships. If you're more than your GPA, be more than your GPA. Be willing to trade your time for nothing. Ooh, that sounds like GT. Yep. Create relationships in order to grow into an undeniable applicant. Yeah, like y'all, like Casey hit it right on the money. Jimmy, you absolutely crushed it, bro. Jimmy recently got us accepted into PT school. Absolute rock star. But just decide, like, who do I want to become? I think a lot of times we attach too much of like what we think will get us into PT school to just the actions. And by actions, I mean like to just like the things, like the GPA, like y'all, it's you. Like you're the person they're seeing. You're the person that's showing up. Like there's only two versions of you, right? There's the version of you that's confident, that's certain, that's resilient, that's calm, that's prepared, that's relaxed. But that person is only like that person is built. That person is built. That's the person that actually requires work. If that makes sense, can y'all comment makes sense? If that makes sense right now, can that can y'all just say make sense in the comments? Because I need y'all to hear that. Like everything Casey just told y'all is work. Casey just said it. It's tedious. It's not some little hack that it's like, ooh, if I do that, it's done. I'm good. No. It's you working on you. But you have to understand this. The things that y'all desire most, many of y'all don't actually spend time working on. Like, raise your hand if y'all would love to be confident going into the application cycle. Just give me a little hand emoji. Raise your hand if you would love to feel certain. Raise your hand if you would love to feel resilient. Like you're like, ooh, man, anything comes at me, it just bounces right off, right? Raise your hand if you would love to feel calm, prepared, relaxed. Well, here's the key. The key is those don't just like people are not just born with those characteristics as pre-PTs, y'all. We all have different stories. We have different struggles. We have different false beliefs. Those things require work. So why are we spending so much time only working on retaking the class? No, I know, but like I just got to retake another class. I just got to do this. I just got to retake the GRE again. Well, the honest truth is you never become the person. And this requires work. Y'all, it is January, 24th. Y'all, you guys have time. Start investing in putting in the work. Those 5 things that Casey told you right now are the difference between you feeling those things I just listed and the things I'm about to list. This is the version of you that happens when you decide not to work on it. When you decide not to work on becoming the person you have to be in order to become a dominant applicant. Like there's a reason why some students have a 2.9 GPA and they go in and they crush their interview. Someone else has a 3.7 GPA, goes and does the interview, and the one with the 3.7 is not accepted. The one with the 2.9 is accepted. One has become the person. So when we don't put in the work, we're fearful. We're doubtful. We're timid. We're unprepared. We lack confidence. And my favorite one, we're faking it. Those things I just listed don't require work. So if y'all saw on the copy, it said choose wisely. You have to choose. Am I actually going to work on it or not? Like the results are there. Am I actually going to take Casey's 5 steps and work on them? Or am I going to ignore them and just like not? Because the honest truth is, if you decide not to work on it, you chose it. You chose, the fact that you're showing up to an interview feeling like you're faking it, well, you chose it. You didn't become the person. Listen, y'all can stand in front of a mirror and practice as many questions for an interview until your eyes turn red. I don't care. The honest truth is, if you don't become the person, you will show up on the day of and you'll second guess everything you do. Like you don't actually believe in your own ability to do it. Like Casey and I literally came on this live stream. Y'all, you know how Casey and I do live stream these days? So Casey and I have for the longest time, we're pretty good and we're on the same page about what we talk about, right? So if you get coached by Casey or me, we usually say the same thing because we just see the world the same way. And so there are times like tonight, we're like, we kind of got on a little call. We're like, all right, we have a lot of things we can talk about. which one do we want to talk about? And then we picked it. And then we said, all right, so we loosely know what we're going to say. And look at that. It's coming out as but the honest truth is we've become the person. Like, we know who we are. Like, don't get that twisted. So everything y'all see us like communicate comes from a place of that. So as a pre-PT, you have to become the person. You have to. There is no champion. There is no successful business owner. There is no successful physical therapist. There is no successful person ever that did not first become the person they had to become in here, in preparation, in who they were pouring into themselves to become. Like, they did that way before they actually accomplished the things that we all know them for. So this is the time you begin. This is the time you start transforming into that individual. And once you do that, oh my goodness, you'll start surprising yourself. You'll start surprising yourself, because I can almost guarantee you that if the things you're feeling right now are that second list, the fearful, doubtful, timid, unprepared, lacking confidence, and faking it, if you're feeling more of those than the others, which are confident, certain, resilient, calm, prepared, and relaxed, well, the honest truth is you haven't even come close to tapping into what you're capable of. You haven't even come close to tapping into the version of you that when they show up, magic happens. When they show up, the program realizes, yo, there's no way we go on without this individual in our program. That's the version of you that man, stop faking it. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop trying to like say the things everyone's saying. Stop trying to listen. Just be you. Be you. But don't be the you that you haven't worked on. Be the you that you're pouring into. Be the you that's untouchable. Y'all, Casey and I are two different personalities. We just know how to be us at our best. I'm the one that's usually yelling. Casey has like he's not a yeller, but when he speaks, it's like powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like his words are heavy. So we just tap into who we are at our best. If y'all can learn to do that, it's game over. It's absolutely game over. But it's a choice that you have to make. We've made it for ourselves. Will you make it for yourself? Casey, anything else before we end?
When you were saying something triggered my thoughts when you were saying something. And you know the Instagram post or Facebook post with the iceberg, and the tip of the iceberg says like success, gold medals, accomplishments, and under there it says all the hard stuff you have to do. I was just thinking when you were saying something like, it's easy to like that post. It's easy to double tap it, but it's a lot harder to actually do and be what that post is talking about. Yeah. Like, it's easy to say, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it's a lot harder to sit down on a Friday night, Saturday morning with a notepad and listen to this video again and become the person that Joseph was talking about and go through these 5 steps that I mentioned. It's a lot harder to actually do what's at the bottom of that iceberg to get what's on the top. So it's easy to like something like that. It's easy to like a video like this and listen to it and be hyped up, but it's a lot harder to actually do it to get what you like and get to what you want at the top of that iceberg, which is your acceptance in the PT school. So that's just a little, I don't know why it came to my head, but for some reason it did. And I hope it resonates with 1 or 2 people out there. But that's it, do the work and you'll be so grateful that you did.
That's it. Y'all have a blessed one. Go crush it, own it, become the person, and y'all, we'll see you on the other side. We can't wait to welcome every single one of y'all into our amazing profession. Much love. Y'all have a great rest of your Friday evening. Bye.